Hello, hello, hello. Good evening to you. It's time for Sunday's Best, and I trust that you've had a great day already. So I'm just going to put an amen on it, and so that we can start our week off in high gear. And thank you all for understanding that I was not on last Sunday, and I trust that I haven't lost any loyal listeners. And my family just had a big day planned for me all day long. So I love them for that, and I appreciate it. And I hope that you all had a marvelous, wonderful, fantastic Mother's Day. And those of you who are not mothers that are on the call, I am sure that you have filled in the gap for some young lady or young man in the past acting in the role as, a mother, doing some things that a mother would do. And so last week I had a list of called Mother's To-Do List and More. Um, Mothers, and then we're going to talk about some of the traits. And then we're going to go into something very special for this week called Design Your Life. So if there's someone that you meant to get on this call and you didn't get a chance to do it, how about silently text them or do whatever, text them. And I don't want you to get off to make a call. So I said to do it and invite them to the call. So, mothers are very special, very, very, very special. Mothers endure 9 months of carrying an unborn baby. And then once they come to the world, they carry them in their hearts all of their lives. So, mothers are, everybody likes to have a nice figure and like to carry an appropriate amount of weight. But mothers go beyond that because they're thinking about their unborn infant. They could care less about the amount of weight they gain as long as the baby's healthy and they're healthy. They'll go take vitamins that they normally wouldn't take. They will go for monthly checkups for the entire 9 months to make sure their babies are healthy and have good weight. So I'm going to go over a couple of characteristics of a good mother. And I can only cover a few because we have thousands. And I'm sure during your Mother's Day celebration, either at home, at church, or whatever, there were some things that you were reminded of. You received some gifts that only your children would give you, and it made your heart feel warm and fuzzy all over again. After carrying them for 9 months, only a mother can birth a human being. So we're special. We're very special. All right. But again, I want to say that there are a lot of fill in the gap mothers. I know I had myself several of them. So we appreciate and celebrate them as well. Character traits of a good mother. And like I said, if I don't call one that resonates with you, I'm sure one of them will. But I just know that I haven't forgotten that we wear a big hat. We wear several hats. Number one, only a female can give birth and become a mother. Number two, character trait, they endure the most painful ordeal of life. I can't compare labor pains to anything else. A toothache hurts, a stomach ache hurts, a bruise may hurt, but nothing hurts like childbirth. But we do it over and over and over again for our love for our children. Number three, a mother's touch. When their child is crying, when their child is sick, when they're happy, when they have birthdays, when they have activities at school, when they take their first step, when they go to first grade, yeah, and when they graduate, and when they get married, and when they have children. We are there from the beginning. And good mothers, traits of good mothers, is that they are there for their child no matter what. Number 4, mothers hang in there long after everyone else had thrown in the hat. Mothers are diehard for their children. Number 5, mothers know their children and they will train them up. They'll spank them, chastise them, correct them, give them morals, hug them, and spank them again, because we want what is good for our children, and discipline is a must. Number 6, Number 7. Number 6. Mothers will go into places that they don't want to go if their children are there. If they think that their children are in harm's way, they'll go. In the midnight hour, they'll go. If their children happen to land in prison, they'll go. So mothers are very caring, very nurturing, and they are the center. Our children are the center of our lives. Number 7, mothers will prepare their children to go to school, to get a good education. They'll feed them. They'll make sure they have the proper clothing. Number 8, mothers are big protectors. You can mess with some stuff, and I may not come after you, but don't mess with my children. And I know that mothers feel that way. We just have that bond with our children. And there is a negative or adverse effect if a mother's touch is not near a child in their formative years. It's called an attachment disorder. And it causes them not to bond well with friends, with other families, with their own family in the future. And it caused them to have emotional trauma, sometimes mental breakdowns, because they never bonded with their natural mother. And someone else can raise them, but it's a mother's touch that a lot of children yearn to have. And the traits of a good mother is that you will be there for your child. And number 9, mothers are prayer warriors. And all mothers want their children to do better. They want them to be good. They want them to be respectful. And as hard as we pray sometimes, they go astray. But we know what the word tells us. All right? Train them up in the way that they should go, and it will not depart from them. So a lot of times when you think they're not listening, they are. And a lot of times when they act out, it's not because you didn't pour into them. They're just being who they are, children. And the last one is, only mothers can turn into grandmothers. And that's a whole new ball game, right? So that's what some of the stuff that we would have covered last week. So again, I'm glad you're here. So tonight, design the kind of life you want. Ever thought about you could do that? Ever thought about what happens if you don't and you just let life happen to you? I have my vision board right on the wall. And a lot of those things are things that I'm putting into my life that I want to happen between my dash, between my born day and my going on to heaven day. I want some things to happen. And you know what? If you don't design, if you don't have a vision, if you don't write the vision, if you don't speak over your vision, it's not likely to be the way you designed it. Because life is going to happen. It's going to happen the way you design it, or mostly the way you design it, or it's going to happen and it is what it is. All right? So don't sell yourself short. You were born with a purpose. God gave you your senses. He gave you the ability to create some things. He gave you the gifts, but you have to manifest them. And so don't sell yourself short. If you don't know what success is or what it feels like, there are so many books. People are so willing to tell you how they made it, how they became successful. So you know what? If you're trying to design a life of happiness and success, why not take the advice from someone who's already done it? And you know why a lot of people don't? It's because they don't want to read. They don't want to listen to people who have blazed a trail, to people who have stumped their toe, bumped their head, and still came out successful. So you know what? If I were you, I would design the kind of life I want. So I'm going to give you a couple of things. So if you got a pen and paper, I'm going to give you a couple of things that will help you design a better life for yourself. Because if you have enough reason to do a thing, you can accomplish amazing things. But you gotta feel it. You gotta know that you want it bad enough. Then you can accomplish it. And a lot of times we don't design our life because we're too busy looking in the rearview mirror. We're too busy thinking about the negative things that people have told us. But you know what? What they tell you and what you tell you could be a whole different ball game. And if you're designing your life, you are designing your life. You're not designing your life to be like anyone else. So their opinion of you may matter, and it does, because we all want people to think well of us. But half of the people, half of the time, all of the people, half of the time, none of the people, some of the time, are going to think as well of you as you should be thinking of yourself. Dreams and goals can become magnets. And you know what you do with a magnet? You attach it to something and it has a pull. And so if you're designing a life that you really want, there should be things that pull you in a certain direction. Not sometimes, not when you think about it. Even with my vision board, I have to be thinking about it even when I'm not looking at it. But looking at it reminds you daily where you're headed and some of the things and some of the people that you want to meet on the journey. Some of the people that you want to meet so that you can impact on the journey. Some of the people that you want to mentor. Some of the people that you want to coach. Some of the people that want to pour into you. And you want to design your life so that you don't shut yourself off from any blessing. The person doesn't have to know more than you to bless you. They don't have to be from where you're from. They don't have to be affluent. They don't have to be rich. They don't have to be poor. But they can teach you something. They can pour something into you. So design your life means you've got to not let life happen to you. You got to make things happen in your life. Well-designed goals will keep you through difficult times. because difficulty is going to come. Everything you want in life is not going to be easy. Some things are going to come hard. Some things are going to come at you hard. Some things are going to come at you unexpectedly. But if you design your life, you know that every day is not going to be roses. So we're going to talk about maybe about 10 things that you must improve on every day, and you must make it a part of who you are so you can show up being exactly who you are. We all have superpowers. Yeah, I discovered some lately that I didn't know I had. And so I'm sure you can do the same thing. But we have to sometimes do just like this shirt. If I'm going to turn it on the wrong side, I'm going to pull the sleeves out or I'm going to flip it over. We have to do that with our lives sometimes. Turn ourselves inside out and see what we're really made of. That's called a designer. That's called a designer's purpose. You know from the start, if you sew, you have, my sister Sandra sews, my mother sews, I used to sew. You know that you have a pattern. And if you don't go by the pattern and you're sewing something for someone else, then the best thing for you to do is measure them first. But if you're making something for yourself, you might look at it and say, yeah, this will fit. And then you may cut it a little bit smaller, or you may decide to make it a little bit larger. But you can do that with designing clothes. But you can do that with designing your life. And so, number one is learn the power of your purpose. What is your purpose here on life? What power does that give you? If you operated at 100%, what kind of power would you have instead of operating at 50%? Mediocre, because that's okay. It's just enough to say I got through it. When you have purpose, you have something to go for. You have a target. You have a destination. When you live on purpose and you design your life, you can say, by the time I'm 20, I want to do this. By the time I'm 30, I want that over with. By the time I'm 50, I've already lived probably longer than I will live in the future. Very few people are blessed to live to be over 100. So if you get to 60 and you haven't designed anything for yourself, you got a lot of ground to catch up on. You got a lot of ground to cover. But don't give up. A lot of people at 65 and 70, we read their stories all the time. Life happened to them late. Or maybe it wasn't late. It was when God said they could handle what he had for them and not get the big head. All right, so some things are timely. Some things come in certain seasons of life. So, something that pulls you to the future, not pulls you back in the past. And if somebody keeps reminding you about your past, say, that was then. That's how I was then. But that's not me now. You want to know? You need an update. All right? So, something that pulls you beyond the problem, beyond the obstacle, something that pulls you and tugs at you to say, there is a good ending to this. It doesn't have to end poorly. So, if a year goes bad, and I can tell you about that during a recession in my career, you could be at the height of your game and stuff happens. And when stuff happens, you got to learn how to shift. You got to learn how to pivot. You got to learn how to dig in. You got to learn how to have some bulldog tenacity. You got to learn how to breathe and bite at the same time, because life will take you down if you're not deep rooted, steadfast, and know that you are operating in purpose. I can tell you about it. I lived it. I lived it. Number two, another thing that you have to do to design your life is you have to have self-confidence. Everybody doesn't have to believe in you. Everybody can't go where you're going. Everybody shouldn't go. In fact, if you try to take everybody, ask me. I've tried it. You try to take everybody, people come with a to-go box. Their mission is clear. Your mission might be a little cloudy, but their mission is clear. And don't get me wrong, nobody is perfect. Nobody, absolutely nobody. But all of us owe it to ourselves to have self-confidence, to know the self-confidence that comes so that you can be the best you can be. Self-confidence is the willingness to do whatever it takes, forever how long it takes, for you to live on purpose. Self-confidence says, I will be consistent in doing what I need to do. If I need to read a book, I'll read two. If I need to study, I'll study long and hard. I'll do whatever it takes to rise above. And when you are self-confident, you don't quit. You work long after others do, because you have the confidence that whatever has been assigned to you, you're equipped to handle it. So self-confidence calls for daily discipline and consistency. Number three, enthusiasm is a powerful thing. I read that 90% of your enthusiasm is what's inside. The other 10% is what people see. So if you're speaking over yourself, you know your purpose, you have self-confidence, then your 90% should shine brightly if you're enthusiastic about doing something. Enthusiasm motivates you. Show me your enthusiasm, your deep, deep enthusiasm, and I can see what's happening on the outside. Number four, expertise. Whatever you're designing yourself to become, you have to want to do it in excellence. So if you're still working, or if you're working again, you want to become the expert. You want to become the employee of the month if you're working, or you want to be the one that they will think of for the next promotion. If you're retired and you're doing whatever, running your business, you want to operate in excellence and you want to be the expert. So settling for nothing less than excellence. Do your best, sharpen your skills, be the best in your field, and invest in yourself. You were created to be fruitful and multiply. So just a couple more things, and then we're going to be finished for the night. Being well prepared, preparation. If you're going to design something, you got to think about what you want. There's a thinking process, there's a planning process, and then there's an execution process. So preparation, it takes time. You got to work on yourself. Prepare to get ready, then be ready, then stay ready, because you know what? Let's just say mothers, parents, we prepare our children for first grade. And after 2 years, you don't want them still in first grade. You want them in third grade. Then they're in fifth grade. But it takes preparation from fifth grade to 10th grade. You can't just take them out of fifth grade and put them in 10th grade and say, now perform. It doesn't work like that. Preparation. So attend workshops, read books, listen like you're listening tonight. Find out what your purpose is and design your life. But know that preparation is a lifelong process. Life does not waste time on people who are unprepared. Why do that? Why waste time on people who are unprepared? Don't just look for success to be prepared for you. You have to design yourself with success in mind. Believe I'm on number 6 or 7. But remember that preparation is critical. And why waste fortunes on people who are unprepared? Life is not designed to give you what you want. Life is designed to give you what you deserve. And if you deserve it and you want it bad enough, and you're willing to work hard enough, you will then have success. Number 7, self-reliance. It's on you. It's on you. If you don't make it, you can't blame the pandemic. You can't blame your boss that you stayed on that job 30 years and didn't walk off like you wanted to. Self-reliance. You gotta build you up. You gotta speak over yourself, and you have to have the ability not to sell yourself at a discounted price. You gotta know your worth. Number 8, image. How others see you. If they see you as a leader, they're likely to follow. If they see you as a person in charge, they might want to listen. If they see you in control of the situation, they'll trust you. If they see you as influential, they'll listen to you. If they see you as a life that you see you living a life that they think you designed, that they think turned out okay, they'll listen to you. And they're more likely to start and say, if she could do it, if he could do it, then I can do it. And especially those who have written many books telling us how I made $1 million, how I was successful, how to keep your marriage together, how to raise your children, how to avoid becoming poverty stricken, how to rise above, how to create wealth. You know, there's a lot of how-to books out there. People are happy to tell you their story, all right? Good and bad. I mean, maybe you read something in one book that says, oh no, I'm not going down that road. I don't want to design my life like that because I don't want it to turn out like that. And so self-image is very important. What other people see in you is good, but good, better, and best. It's best to see the best in yourself. So when you look in that mirror, you say, mirror, mirror on the wall. You got to look in the mirror. You might look back to say, that was then, or look back to get some strength to move forward. But you want to design your life. I mean, you already know what happened in the past. So there's no need to rewind that clock. You know, and if you revisit it, stay a short period of time. And don't bring out any baggage that you should have already put on the trash pile. Don't do it. All right? So look forward. Number 9, and then we only have 2 more. Number 9, character. Becoming a person of high value. Your character is the principles, what you will stand for and what you won't stand for. A person's character is whether they're honest or not. A person's character is whether they respect you and expect you to respect them. Character. Most people are honest when somebody's looking, but tend to see if they could get by if someone is not looking. That's not real honesty. So when you're designing yourself, these are things that you must do. Be self-disciplined. Self-discipline means it's not okay to keep missing deadlines. Design yourself, because you're not going to get more time on the clock. When it hits midnight, it starts over for all of us. And imagine if somebody could buy time, if somebody could buy the weather, we'd be all confused, because we never know who's buying what and what they want. Some people might not like sunshine. And that would be dismal for me, because I love the sunshine. I love light. Love to get my sleep too. But if they decided that they wanted to buy a whole night of darkness, we'd be messed up. So thank God he didn't put people in charge of everything. And the power to be extraordinary is what I'm going to end with. The power to be extraordinary. If you want your life to be average, you do what average people do. If you're going to design your life to be extraordinary, you want to make extraordinary income, you must perform at an extraordinary level. You must become the expert. You must find that job that you want to be extraordinary at. If you want to have extraordinary performance, the 9 things that I went over, 9 or 10 things that I went over, are a must. Because you know what? It's what you think of you that will cause you to design something amazing, and will cause you to accomplish some unbelievable things. Nobody would have thought you could do that. But remember, the theme for this year is you can do it. And if you wait on society to tell you how to be extraordinary, society doesn't care if you're overweight, if you're unhealthy, if you don't leave a legacy, if you don't exercise, if you're poor, going paycheck to paycheck. Society doesn't care. So it's up to you. Society doesn't even care if you don't build a wall around your family to protect them. But it's up to you. And if you are going to design a life, think about not only what you would be leaving between your dash. Because if you don't do a thing that you were designed to do and you were the only ones there to do it, you're disappointing other people. Your gift will make room for you, but your gift will open doors for other people as well. So let me see who we have on the line tonight. And let's see. All right. We got Florence in the house, Lavinia, Portia, Diane Jackson. Oh, Diane, that's a reminder. Everybody pay yourself. Diane put her $ up. Vivian put $2 up. Go Vivian. And, you know, when you're designing your life, you don't want to design it with having scarcity. You want there to be enough and more than enough. You don't want to survive. You want to thrive. Isn't that right, Renee? Good evening. Sandra Ellison is on. Let's Taryn Tyler is on. She says, yes, indeed. Olivia Green says, mother's job is never ending. You are absolutely correct, Olivia. Absolutely. And I think some grandmothers say that too because they got that to-do list. Vivian says, oh, yes, I can be a mother bear. Don't bother my children. I know that. We're definitely prayer warriors. And like I said, we're thousands of things. But I know for sure protecting our children and praying for them is one of the ones that we all agree on and that we all do. We must intercede in our prayer life for our children, says Olivia. Sandra Ellison says, totally agree. Olivia said, two of the most important dates in your life are your born date and the day you find purpose in life. Amen. Amen. It would be a shame to live on this earth 80, 90, 100 years and not live in purpose and take all your gifts to the grave with you. Taryn says, you're absolutely correct. Sandra says, absolutely. Thank you for getting on, Linda. I know I asked you late, but thank you for joining us. And that's Linda English. Diane Jackson says, self-confidence is a must-have. That's right. You got to know who you are and whose you are. Marva Cannon from King Street says, confidence is, let me scoot down just a little bit, is very important. All right, so I hope that I got everybody on, but sometimes it only lets me see a certain amount, but I'm glad of that because it's free, Facebook, so I can't make any demands on it. I just have to operate within the rules, and I, again, thank you all for being on tonight, and we're usually on about 30, no more than 40 minutes. So we're right at 38 minutes tonight, and that's because I wanted to cover some ground on a little bit more ground than the review for Mother's Day. So to those of you who are on tonight, if this information was helpful, if it was collaboration of a kind that you could share, make sure that you invite someone else to tune in next week to Sunday's Best. Easy like Sunday morning. And I don't mind if you have your dessert with me on Sundays. I want you to have a great life, have a great night, have a wonderful week. In fact, have $1 million life.